Alright guys, here we are today with two versions of Kylo Ren's TIE silencer from The Last Jedi. And I wanted to do a comparison video of these two ships because they're very similar in size, but there's a lot of differences in them as well. And one of them is the price, and the quality of them is actually significantly different in what they actually do. So what you have here is we have two versions of Kylo Ren's TIE silencer. And so the lighter, right off the bat, you can notice one of them's a little bit lighter than the other one. And so what you have here, what we'll look at first is this one here. And this is from a toy line that I have not heard a lot about. It's not super popular. I haven't seen a lot of people actually talking about it, but here's the actual box for this guy, and it's just a little version of the ship that's about 10 inches long. And this is, if you're looking for it, let me see here, I'm gonna tip the camera up a little bit. That's what the box actually looks like. So if you actually want to look for one of these in the store, it's very similar packaging to the Force Link line, but it is not a Force Link toy. So I just wanted to show you guys what the box looked like in case you're gonna look to purchase one of these somewhere. And I'll tell you, if you're familiar with the store line, I got it at Big Lots. If you know what that is, it's a closeout store that's in the United States. But this is Kylo Ren's TIE silencer, and it's about 10 inches long from the tip of the wing to tip from both sides of the wing. And as you can see, it's gray and there's no moving parts on it. So the cockpit doesn't open, the missile doesn't fire. There's actually a missile in he used it in the movie. It's in the wing right here. And so here is the ship. And the real reason I'm doing this video is I wanted to do a comparison of the two. But before we compare the two, I just want to give you a quick look at the other one. So this one is from a totally different toy line. It actually comes from the Disney store, and they just call it Kylo Ren's TIE Fighter. And the weird thing is the name of the ship isn't even on the box. It's not the name TIE Silencer isn't on the box. They just call it the TIE Fighter. So if you're looking for it, that's what you want to look for. But it is a Disney store exclusive. And as you can see, compared to the other one, it's a little bit darker. It's almost a solid black color. But the other main difference between the two, other than the color and the size, is the cockpit. The cockpit in this one actually opens, and there is a little tiny Kylo Ren figure that comes with this. So when you buy this, you'll get this little tiny Kylo Ren figure, and he has movable legs only, so you can sit him in the vehicle. And real quickly, I'll show you how the cockpit works. So what you have here is the cockpit. Normally, if you have the Force Link version of this vehicle, this is how you insert the figure. The hatch for the cockpit actually opens. But in this one, since it's so small, they tried to make it a little easier, a little more user-friendly, and the whole window part of the ship actually swings open on a hinge, right, like this. And then you pull out the flight controls. They're on a little slide, and you can see that's his seat and a little foot panel, and then there's some control screens that are painted red, and there's very detailed cockpit. It's one of the most detailed cockpits I've ever seen on a Star Wars toy. And I apologize, it's solid black, so it's a little bit hard to film, but you can kind of see it there a little bit. They have some gray highlights on the interior of the cockpit. But you just push it back in. You can see the flight controls where he sits, the seat. It slides in and out. Very cool. Okay, so there we go. And the main thing I wanted to do this video for, because I've already done reviews on both of these ships, is just to show you the difference between them. So to let you know, I purchased this guy here. This is the Big Lots one, the Hasbro one, and I paid $15 for this at Big Lots. And so I would be willing to bet I wasn't impressed with that price, to be completely honest with you, but I really wanted to pick this thing up today. And I'd be willing to bet if you shop around a little bit, you could probably find it for a better price. And this guy here is at the Disney store, was priced at $20, but I was able to find it on clearance and I picked it up for $10. I got 50% off. And yeah, to be honest with you, I really like this one better. I like the fact that it has an opening cockpit and a figure that comes with it, but it was $5 cheaper. So, but sometimes that's just the way it works out. But so I'm trying to get it. So his ship is really long, and I want to show you guys the difference in the length. And it's kind of hard to film it like that. But there, if you look, you can see a little bit difference in the length. The Disney Store one, the darker one. The wings, if you put the backs at the same location, the Disney Store one's probably about 1.5 inches longer on the wings. And again, I'm sorry, it's kind of tricky filming these guys. You can see the difference in the color. This is the Hasbro one, and this is the Disney one. And the Disney one is darker, more black, and the Hasbro one is grayer. And you can see here, there's differences in how they highlighted. There's some of the parts of the ship are highlighted in gray, and you can see there's a little bit of black on the hatch for the cockpit. And then the thrusters are red, bright red. And if you look at the thrusters on the Disney one, they're a little bit darker. It's kind of hard to see on camera, but they do have a little bit of a red tint to them. But they are pretty dark. They're almost black. But there you can see the difference. And then you can also see how on the parts that are painted gray on this one, or excuse me, the parts that are painted gray on this one, you can see like these little shapes here are gray. Well, they're on this ship too. They're a little bit harder to see, but they're not highlighted gray. So the paint scheme is a little bit different. You can see the little gray parts here, and here they're not gray, they're black. This one has a lot more detail on the hull of the ship. Let's see if I can get it. You can see there's a lot more detail to the body and everything than this one. And here's a good example. If you look at the bottoms, you can see how this one, the Disney one, has a little bit more detail and things like that, and you can see the difference. This one actually feels, if you look at the wings, the wings are stiffer. They're flexible plastic, so you don't have to worry about breaking them, but they're a lot firmer and stiffer than this one. These ones have a lot of movement to them. And then the other big difference, you can see these are the blaster cannons, and on the Hasbro one, you can see they're much larger than the Disney Store one. They're almost like little needle points. So, but the other thing I'm noticing that's really different is that this cockpit, of course, doesn't open, and it's just solid black, so you can't even see in it or anything like that, and that's fine. And you can see the difference. This one's red, and you can actually see through it a little bit and actually see into the cockpit. So very cool. But these are both very cool ships. I would buy either one of them. I have, but I just wanted to show you guys the difference because they're very similar, and then there's a lot of differences as well. So, but just to let you guys know, I was not very familiar with this line, and I had another collector who I talk to fairly regularly with online. His name is Nathan Allen, and he has a YouTube channel by the same name where he talks about collecting and toy collecting. And if you guys want to support him, that would be great. He's been really nice to me, and he turned me on to this line. And there's also they had Poe's X-Wing, the black one, if you're looking for that as well. And I just thought they're a pretty cool line, and they're not super expensive. And again, you can see the difference in them. But that's the main thing is yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of difference in the shape of the wings too. These ones seem a little bit more slender than this one. And if you look, like, for example, if you look at this center panel here on this one, it's a lot more rectangular, where here, it's almost square-like. So, and the texturing on this one's a lot deeper than this one. It's a lot smoother. So this one's a little rougher, and this one feels a little bit smoother. And you can see like there's a difference here in the cannon on the wing. You can see it's a little bit more prominent than if you look at this one. You can see it's a little more snub-nosed. And then again, you can see if you look at the wings, there's a lot of differences in the wings. This one has these two bump outs here, and this one has like one solid bump out. So they're not identical. Again, if you look at the back of the wings, for some reason this one has a little tab out and this one does not. So yeah, I mean, they're not identical, which is cool. But they are very similar. So, but yeah, I just wanted to, this is really a comparison video. I just wanted to show you two different versions of the same ship. And then really quick, just for context, this is going to show you guys kind of the scale. What I have with me right now is the actual Force Link tie silencer. So you can see the difference. I'm going to go ahead and move these guys out of the way real quick. But you can actually see the difference in the scale and size. So this is the one you buy. It's for the 3 3/4 inch figures. It's Force Link. You can use the Force Link for it. And what I'm looking at here, the Hasbro, and it's probably because these are both made by Hasbro, you can see the sculpts are a lot. Let me see if I can. You can see how the sculpts of the wings is a lot more similar. Now, which one's more screen accurate? You know, I'm sure I haven't seen any close-up freeze frames of what they did in the movie. I've only seen the movie itself, and it's kind of hard to see his ship because it's dark and it's in space. But you can also see how, if you look at the blaster cannons, they're very similar in the way they're made up. And the same thing on the wing here. You have the more square panel, and if you look at this one, it's more rectangular. So, but I just kind of wanted to give you context, and also, let me see here if I can remember how this works, because it's been a while since I've done it. This one has working missiles. So there you go. But that's, if you remember, he used that in the film. So, and it's actually on, this guy's so big it's hard to film. They're actually on both sides of the ship. Whoa. And like I was talking about earlier, so this is how normally how the hatch works on this thing. And that's how you would put your Kylo Ren figure in. So, and that's how you put them back in. But anyway, I just brought this guy up to show you the difference between the little guy and the big guy, and kind of give you a context in the scale. Alright guys, there is your comparison video for the Hasbro 10-inch Kylo Ren tie silencer and the Disney Kylo Ren tie silencer that is a Disney Store exclusive. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I appreciate your support. If you like the content I'm making, please subscribe to the channel. And thanks everyone. Thanks for watching. Bye.